A method to genetically reset cancer cells back to their normal somatic state is much more than just a cure for cancer. Since cancer cells aren't essential to the human body and can replicate infinitely in the lab, being able to transform any cancer cell at any stage back to normal makes it possible for hospitals and clinics to create and farm limitless supplies of body cells for each of their patients. Now, this doesn't sound very useful, but if a cancer survivor needs a skin graft or a blood transfusion down the road, it's entirely possible to use the patient's formerly cancerous cells farmed and reprogrammed in the hospital's lab as a substitute, all without needing to worry for things like clotting or immune system compatibility. Having access to limitless supplies of human body cells can also turn theoretical therapies like stem cells into widespread practical treatment. Methods to create induced pluripotent stem cells usually constructed from reprogrammed human skin tissue, are normally having very low yields. With an infinite source of readily acceptable tissue available, sufficient quantities of perfected stem cells could extinguish the demand for organ donors and stifle another desire for human cloning. The damage from heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, degenerative eye diseases could all be reversed by having extra cells on hand. Irreversible conditions such as multiple sclerosis and Alzheimer's could be stalled indefinitely simply by swapping out degenerated cells with freshly farmed ones. More importantly, medical resources and funding can be reassigned to more pressing research, and the need for medical assistance in dying may finally start to reduce. But none of these possibilities will ever come to fruition if we believe that cancer must be destroyed at all costs. I know it's hard to even imagine that cancer could be cured in any way other than a destructive method, but statistics don't lie. Over 1 million of our mothers, our fathers, aunts, uncles, grandfathers, grandmothers are going to die within the next 10 to 20 years, and close to 4 million more will suffer until their last days. The Canadian medical system is already under enormous strain with the medication shortages, practitioner deficits. How can we possibly maintain an appropriate standard of care with those figures in our future? Unless we, not just as a nation, but as a species, find another way to deal with cancer, the next 10 to 20 years will become a dark and depressing time for the human race.